Good morning or good afternoon. I am very glad to be with you again this morning. My name is Steve Little, and I am the AI Program Director with the National Genealogical Society, the founder of AI Genealogy Insights, and the co-host of the podcast Family History AI Show. And I am very glad to be with you all this morning. This is the one I've been looking forward to, and I'm going to show you why. One, the room's a little bit smaller. We've gotten, let me put it another way. You are the folks who, this is an intermediate class. So if you found your way here this morning, you're probably either someone who does not consider yourself a beginner any longer, or you've been a beginner for a little while and you want to take a glimpse over the fence a little bit and see what might be available to the intermediate user. And just to make sure that we've found the right place, one of the things that has become kind of a habit for when we start one of these sessions is to do a little quick raise of hands survey about how much experience people have. And at the introductory class and the beginners class, the expectation at an introductory class, usually only about 15% of attendees have used the tools at all. 85% of the folks that come to an introductory session are learning about these things for the very first time. And at a beginner's class like yesterday, about 15% of folks have used the tools a little bit, but not too many have gotten over that 20 hours. Now, I'm guessing that those of you here this morning have gotten past those first 20 hours. And we've talked about why that's important, because it takes about 20 hours, or as Professor Ethan Mullet calls it, 3 sleepless nights, to kind of get the feel or the hang of how these tools work, because they're so substantially different than any other kind of computer program we've used before. So raise your hand if you've used these tools for more than 20 hours now. That's a lot. How many of you have been using these tools for more than 6 months now? Look at that. Okay, this is the most experienced group I've been in 2 years. How many of you have used these tools for more than a year now? Look at this. Look, keep your hands up. You've not been in a room with other genealogists where half the room have been using these tools for a year. There's something that happens, and talk to the people who are just raising your hand. This class is about learning AI tools, and there's something happens. First, I'm talking about 2 thresholds. There's 2 thresholds that we cross when we're learning how to do these things. The first happens after about that first 20 hours. It takes about that first 20 hours to learn what a chatbot is and how to use it, and you're talking back and forth and you iterate, you have whole conversations. In 20 hours, you've learned that this is not like the Google from 10 years ago. This is way, way different. But somewhere between 20 hours and 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, depending on how fast a learner you are and how much you're using it, you go from not just being exposed, but you've become literate. After that 6 or 12 months, you are now pretty AI literate on how to use a large language model, at least at what we're doing with them today. Is there anybody who's been using these things for 6 or 12 months who would disagree with that statement? After 6 or 12 months, you feel like, another way to put it, after 20 hours, it's like you've learned to ride a bicycle, and after 20 hours, they take the training wheels off. You're a little bit wobbly, but you're on your own. After 6 or 12 months, you have mastered the bicycle, and you're getting better at riding the bicycle, and every week you get a better bicycle. and you're doing new and amazing things with better bicycles every week. And that's what makes this morning kind of interesting, is we're talking among other folks who are practitioners now. You are practitioners of AI genealogy if you've been using these tools for 6, 12, 18 months. Now, and for those of you who are right there, this morning may be a little bit, I wish I had more than 60 minutes. I wish I had like 6 days to spend with y'all, because there is about 30 tools that I would love to spend 2 or 3 hours apiece showing y'all. But what I'm going to do this morning is instead prepare you, I hope, for the next year, to kind of say, here's some of the things you're probably already doing, or if you're not, or if you're a beginner or an advanced beginner and you're looking for the things to keep busy with, this is what it is this morning. And also how to get ready for this next year as an intermediate practitioner. So here we go. First, as my slides, all of these are available on the Roots Tech website. So you're welcome to take pictures, but the PDF file of all the slides is already up there, so as you wish. Good. Okay, quick overview of the next 53 minutes and 15 seconds. We're going to talk about learning AI tools. And one of the ways that I know that this is a good and worthy topic is the guidelines for responsible use were released yesterday. And one of the 5 core principles of responsible use is education. And that means a lot more than just an introductory 101 class. You know that means continuing education, especially with these tools. So we're going to introduce some loathsome jargon that helps us understand why continuing education of AI genealogy is a necessity. And then we're going to talk about staying educated and the importance of subject matter experts. Y'all, if you've heard me before, you know I do not like being called an expert. I am not. I'm just 20 minutes ahead of some of y'all, and quite a few of you have just passed me already. But I'm very grateful to be here with you. And then we're going to look at some intermediate tools and use cases. Okay, yesterday, if you were with us, you saw that the guiding principles for responsible AI and genealogy were released, and there's 5 of them. And these are the group of folks who started to put these together. Actually, this is only about 1/3 of the people who were involved in putting this together. There were several focus groups of professional and quite serious genealogists who, like you, have been using these tools for 6, 12, 18 months. Some of these folks have been using these tools for 2 years, like me. Others had not used them at all because their expertise is genealogy. And as genealogists, they were just keeping a very close eye on what's this craziness going on over here, and let's make sure they don't run us off a cliff. And we are very, very grateful to have them there. So the subject matter experts were paying close attention and giving solid advice on how all of us can use these tools responsibly. And I'm not going to, these are available online. The website is listed down there at the bottom. This slide is available in my deck. So I will mention them, if not define them all. Accuracy, disclosure, privacy, education, and compliance. Education is the one that I want to focus on today. And on the website that the coalition put together, there's actually an education section put together by the fantastic Ashley Benz and her team. And they've been collecting and commissioning articles on how you can use these tools responsibly in genealogy. And they're showing you examples of what it means when we say accuracy is important, and disclosure is important, and privacy is important, and education is important, and compliance is important. And there's a growing number of resources on this website explaining and showing, unpacking what that really means. Today, again, because this is such a rapidly evolving field, we're going to have to keep an eye on this because you know how quickly things change, and we're going to be ready to adapt to whatever new wonderful stuff becomes available. We're going to make sure we understand or have as good an idea as we can about how to use these tools responsibly, even the new ones that we can't imagine that are coming. The one I do want to spend a moment talking about this morning is education. And the principle that the coalition drafted is this: the use of artificial intelligence creates new opportunities and risks. Therefore, you, members of the genealogical community, educate yourselves about artificial intelligence to maximize its benefits and minimize its risks to their work. And that's what we're doing today. We're kind of a little bit of meta here, learning about learning, but then we're going to jump in and learn some things. But the reason we have to do continuing education, how many of you are familiar with the concept of the jagged frontier? Not enough of you. Okay, good. I'm glad I paused to do this. This is why continuing education is so important when you're using these tools, because these tools are advancing literally every week. And so there's things that you will try to do that you will notice that it will fail. You'll try to do a task and you won't be able to do it. It will break for one reason or another. But then you'll hear that a new model has been released, and they have all but assured us that GPT-5 is coming out in March. GPT 4.5 came out 10 days ago, and early indications are it is much improved in handwritten text recognition, which means that GPT-5 is a little bit better at reading those old letters and diaries and journals and court cases and other files. But when these models become stronger, they don't uniformly get better. Let's say a model comes out and it's 15% better or even 5% better. That does not mean that it's 5% better in everything that it does. There's a jagged frontier. It does some things better, and sometimes they've discovered it's a little bit of a whack-a-mole. You know what I mean by whack-a-mole? It gets a little bit better over here, and oddly, it gets a little bit dumber in something that they could do a month ago. They try to mitigate that, but that's something you have to be aware of, that as these tools get better, they get better unevenly. And so that's why for 2 years I've encouraged folks to pay attention to your failures. I make more mistakes before 9 a.m. than most people make all day, and that's a good thing because I'm keeping track of what doesn't work. And guess what? When GPT-5 comes out in May, I have a list of about 20 things that didn't used to work that I'm going to try again. And about 17 of them still won't work. But I'm going to have 3 eureka moments because I've been paying attention. Now that's what the jagged frontier means. The landscape is changing on the abilities of what we're able to do. And that's why continuing education in this endeavor is important. Now, a little bit of a couple slides, a little bit heavy on text, and I don't mean to get too preachy, but this is important. Genealogical education won't just consist of classes like the one you're in about artificial intelligence. Rather, genealogical educators will increasingly incorporate AI usage into their broader genealogical instructions. We had a panel here yesterday, and one of the folks, maybe one of you in the audience, asked a really good question. They wanted to know, how do we learn more about this? The way you're going to learn about this is not just from taking a class on artificial intelligence, but you may take a class on transcription. Like this morning, Nicole Dyer taught a class on transcription, and she taught a class on transcription with AI. You're going to have subject matter experts like David McCorkle, for example, teaches about working with deeds. And he now teaches a class on how to work with deeds using artificial intelligence. And he's already the expert on deeds. So that's the kind of real expertise you're going to be able to get. Please, a word of caution. And again, I know this is going to sound preachy, but I'm already seeing a little bit of something troublesome. Not every genealogical educator is going to want to incorporate AI. Just like every genealogist did not choose to jump on the DNA bandwagon, especially not right away. Some of them never decided to become genetic genealogists. The same thing's going to happen with using these AI tools. So we shouldn't expect that our favorite content expert in genealogy is also going to want to learn how to master these tools, but others will. And so hopefully that will not be a point of division or acrimony among us. For example, and I mentioned some of these already, while teaching the Leeds method, Dana Leeds is already demonstrating how to use Claude to simplify and enhance the learning of the Leeds method, the one that's named after her, helping students adopt and incorporate AI tools effectively in their genealogical work. How many of you also do genetic genealogy? And how many of you had learned what the Leeds method was as part of your, that's when you get started learning genetic genealogy, you learn about the Leeds method and clusters and how to do shared clustered analysis. Well, Dana discovered a breakthrough in that many years ago now and teaches that, and now she's using AI to make that easier for folks to learn how to do the Leeds method. So folks are going to be able to become genetic genealogists more easily, because there's people teaching how to use those tools. Another example, the Research Like a Pro. Do we have any folks who took Research Like a Pro? I'm an alumni. I did not know this. I was tickled to death. They now have a workbook that goes along with the Research Like a Pro methodology. So they're incorporating that, and this is probably, if it's not sold out already, there's a couple copies left across the streets. They did not ask me to do that. I just really appreciate that they've done this. So you're going to learn about how to use these tools in your other classes. And here's something that make you feel a little better. Almost everything currently known about using AI in genealogy can be accessed freely by self-learners through YouTube videos, blog posts, and on-demand webinars. Denise is back there. That's one of our generalist folks who are giving this away for free, this information on how to do this. This is what I do. As often as I can, I write about how to use these tools and what new things have become available. And as we learn new use cases, I'm not aware of anybody using artificial intelligence in genealogy that's teaching something that you have to pay to learn the secret sauce. That what you're paying for is some secret that only they know, and you're paying $20 or $200 or $2,000 to learn their secret. No, what happens is if you pay to take a class, what the value is, at least in artificial intelligence, it's not the secret sauce that they've discovered something that they're selling to you in the class. The value of a class to learn something in depth is to have a calendar. You've got a date. You've got an assignment. An instructor, a knowledgeable instructor, has already gathered the resources, and they've gathered a community of classmates for you to learn from. But if you don't want to do that, you can learn all there is to learn free. And this is how you do it. How many of you know of Genia Musings, Randy Seaver's blog? Randy has done all of us a tremendous service. For the past 2 years, he has been chronicling this amazing threshold that we're stepping through of using these tools to make our genealogy, our research more effective and efficient. And on this page, Randy's collected dozens and dozens and dozens of articles that I've written, that Denise has written, that Nicole and Dana and everybody else, Andrew. There are 24 people teaching about how to use AI in genealogy, and they're much, much better than me. And so there is lots you can learn. And we're going to get to that in just a minute. I'm wrapping up this part now. There needs to be a chorus, and there already is a chorus of subject matter experts who will know best the current limits of these tools in their specific domains. For example, translators know translation best. Transcriptionists know transcription best. Document analysts know analysis best. And genetic genealogists know genetic genealogy best. One of the best practices, the 3 things that I repeat a lot are know your data, know your model, and know your limits. Because that jagged frontier is changing. What you can do with these tools is changing. And I'm not going to be the person to come to ask, how do we use this for genetic genealogy today? Or what are the limits of transcription and translation? And I'll have a pretty good idea of what's going on, but the only reason I know is because I'm listening to the subject matter content, the real experts. I'm listening to the professional genetic genealogist, how they're using these tools. I'm listening to the professional translators and how they're using these tools and how they're not using these tools. That is gold. When someone tells you, no, we can't do this quite yet. Let's try it again in 3 months or 6 months. That's important to know. I talked about the threshold for the first 20 hours. This is the threshold when we get to literacy, when you really start to understand what's going on. So what is your niche? All of you have some area of expertise in genealogy. Even if you're not a world-leading expert in some little area, you've got a place where you are strong in genealogy. And my best advice for you is dig deep into how the AI tools work in the area that you know best. Because here's what's going to happen. If a beginner sits down and uses ChatGPT, they'll be blown away. They'll think that this thing knows everything and can answer any question. But if you're an expert in an area and you start quizzing these tools about your area of expertise, you'll see the cracks. You'll see where it starts to make mistakes. You'll see where it starts to hallucinate. And so you'll learn in the areas where you're an expert, you will see the limits very fast. And so that's why we listen to the other experts when they're letting us know where it is not safe yet to tread. Okay, let's get started. These are some of the tools that an intermediate user will find very useful. If you're not using these already, these are the things that I expect that you will be doing a lot with this year. The first, and I actually, if you were with me last year this time, I thought this one would be here yet. I thought it would be here now. How many of you work with transcripts, audio? This is going to be huge. Being able to use audio, you already know how valuable transcripts are. Many of you work with letters. You work with journals, diaries, court cases, other written documents. And so you're used to having transcripts, but it's not been really easy to extract a transcript from an audio recording or a video. If you've had some expertise, if you've had technical skills, for 2 years now, you've been able to do this where you can drop an MP3 file into one of these tools, and it will give you a transcript of the audio. And once you have the digitized text, the words on a page, that's when you can really start doing all the beginner stuff we talked about yesterday: summarization, extraction, generation, translation. Once you have that transcript from an audio, the whole world opens up. I mean, how many of you have videotapes from a wedding or a reunion or an interview with an older person, but you've just never had time to sit down and, transcribe it all? Well, now you can transcribe about 60 minutes of audio in about 2 minutes, and it costs you less than $1. And that is just amazing. It's not quite yet what I want to call stupid easy. I wish it was just as easy as dragging the MP3 file onto the tool and then coming back in 2 minutes and you have 7 pages or 70 pages. It's almost there, but it's not there yet. You can do it in this tool. This is Google's Gemini. And Google's Gemini is the only language model that currently accepts audio and video. And it does something called diarization, where if you give it an MP3 file of 2 people talking, it will create a transcript of the file. And it will try to identify the speakers. For example, if you have an old interview where you interviewed your grandparents or great-grandparents, and it's on an old cassette tape, now is the time. It is time to be getting those audio and video transcripts ready to find what genealogical usefulness are actually in those interviews that you've had in a closet for so many decades. Automatic voice mode. I was just talking to Denise about this one yet. This is one that probably too many folks haven't seen yet. But when you use GPT, ChatGPT, most folks do it on their computer. Most folks aren't even aware that you can do it on your phone. But I'm going to see if we can do this. Live demonstration is always a little bit scary. But you can actually talk to these things in real time. And let's see if this works. Good morning, chat.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. I'm here with about 300 people that want to know how you can help them with genealogy. Would you quickly recite for me an abbreviated form of the genealogical proof standard, and who provides that to us?
The genealogical proof standard is a guideline for establishing credible genealogical conclusions. It consists of 5 key elements: conducting a reasonably exhaustive search, providing complete and accurate source citations,
Thanks.
analyzing and...
You can even interrupt it. You can have whole conversations, and it is amazing. You will be able to use that as you're driving down the road and you want to, if you're alone, you may not want to ignore your spouse and have a conversation with the chatbot. But it's amazing to hear about the different ways that this is called advanced voice. But it essentially gives you a voice interface to GPT-5 or 4.5 now, so that you can actually do work just talking to your assistant. And so if you've not done that yet, and I don't know if you can still do this one for free, the one we were just talking about. I don't know. There are more than one place that makes this available. The one you're looking at there is OpenAI's ChatGPT. That's what the app looks like on your phone. But there are other vendors who are also making automatic voice assistants available, and that's going to be available free also. I'm not sure if OpenAI's is just with the $20 a month or whether it's also free. If it's free, there may be limited usage. But it's been incredible to see how folks are using this tool. Oops, went too fast. This is my favorite. If I was going to teach a one morning class, if I could dive deep into one area, this is where the magic is. How many of you are writing and saving your own custom GPTs? Oh, look at this. Okay, this is why you're here this morning. If you're not doing this, this is why you're here. This is the biggie for you. If you consider yourself a little bit more than just a beginner, you've developed some skills on how to write a prompt, how to give these tools some information, how to do the things we talked about yesterday, how to do summarization, extraction, generation, and translation, those basic tasks. And sometimes, let's say you give ChatGPT an image. You could say, just in one word, you could say, describe this image. Or you may develop a more elaborate prompt. For example, I've been working with a community, we've been working on headstones and taking a picture of a headstone. And we've spent now about 9 months refining one prompt to analyze a photograph of a headstone, so that when you take a picture of a headstone, it doesn't just say, describe this headstone. We actually have a very structured format that we want to see. We want to extract all the information we can from that headstone. Well, you don't want to have to retype that 500 times a day to get that information out of the image. Instead, what you do is you create a saved prompt. Now, the different vendors have different names for their saved prompts. At OpenAI, and this is probably the big use of OpenAI. This is why OpenAI is worth $20 a month. You can use it for free. You can do a lot of things for free. You can use other people's saved prompts for free. But to be able to save your own prompts, that's what they put behind the $20. And I don't know anybody who has paid the $20 and regretted it. Once you have the ability to save your own prompts and you realize that, oh my goodness, I don't have to reinvent the wheel 6 times a day. For example, the one we're looking at here, this is a tool I made called Steve's Fact Extractor. I've demonstrated it a lot. You give it a piece of text like an obituary or a wedding announcement or a baptism announcement or a newspaper article, any sort of document. And it goes through this tool, and you have access to this. I'll show you the link to this. It will take that obituary or that newspaper article, and it will extract all the facts. It will take and create a list of all the names, dates, places, relationships, and events in that obituary, newspaper article, wedding announcement, any document you drop it into. And it will create a structured list. And if you want it to, it will create it in a format that you can immediately open up into Excel. I would not be doing this if I had to retype all that every time. So what you see here on the screen where it says instructions, see that little box on the left side of the screen? You can actually fit 8 pages of instructions in that little box. And so that's where we're putting the instructions on how to process every picture of a tombstone. We have one of these tools called Tombstone Analyzer. And you give it a picture of a tombstone, and it processes those 8 pages of instructions. And here's the magic. You don't have to know how to write the instructions. The instructions are just how you would talk to another person. So it's the same way you've been chatting with your chat bot for the past 6 months or 2 years. These are just natural language instructions. You don't have to learn a programming language. You don't have to learn a scripting language. In those instructions, you just put in plain English what you want the tool to do. And you know, you can do that simply in the chat. You can just do one thing like describe or transcribe. But if you want to have consistent results and you want to have those results consistently exported in a standard format, this is how you do it, a saved prompt. Now, the different vendors have different names for this. At OpenAI, they're called custom GPTs. Anthropic calls theirs projects. Google calls them gems, but a rose by any other name smells as sweet. These are all ways you can save your prompts, and the really nice thing about OpenAI is you can share these with others. I have made about 80 of these. I share about 40 of them with folks, and you have free access to these now. They're included. We'll get to them at the end of this slide. And many, I'm not the only, everybody's doing this now. You will create your own tools that do exactly what you need it to do as a genealogist, because of the 200 or 300 people in the room, you all do genealogy a little bit different from each other. So you'll be able to customize these tools how you would like them to work. Okay, so saved prompts is a big deal. If you only learn one thing as an intermediate genealogist or skilled genealogist who's considered themselves, wants to consider yourself to be an intermediate user or practitioner of these tools, saved prompts is going to be at the top of the list. There's a few of the ones that I've done. When you pull up the PDF file from the RootsTech website, those links should all be viable and will take you straight on through to the custom GPTs, the saved prompts. And those are just 5 or 6. There are thousands, tens of thousands of these available. And just like for your phone, you know, you have the iPhone store or the app store for your phone. There's a collection of these on the OpenAI website. They used to call it the GPT store. I think now they just call it Explore GPTs. But many, many hundreds, thousands of people have made these tools available for you to use. And so there's lists of these around, and you can search for them yourselves in the store. There's a little search box that makes that available. So that one is very exciting. Now, here's one that first came available last summer. I'm curious, how many of you have heard of Notebook LM? Only about 5% of you. This is pretty neat. This is very neat. This is a product from Google. It's freely available. It is called Notebook LM, and it combines a couple of these features into one place. It gives us the ability, once you're accessing the Google Gemini model, that's their quite strong model called Gemini 2. That's a very strong language model. So you have access to that. But you also get some file storage location. You can put your resources there. See the left side of the screen where it says sources? That's where you can put your documents, the stuff that you're working on, that it's legal. You do not want to upload copyrighted material to here. That would probably be a violation of either, if not Google's terms of service, the copyright or the intellectual property of other folks. So the stuff you upload here, it needs to be stuff that you own, that is yours. But once it's there, you can start to process it. You can create your own saved prompts here. Notice where it says, down at the bottom where it says view chat and add note, you can create your own saved prompts to work on things here. But the real magic, there's 2 other really neat things about this tool. One, it's collaborative. You can work on this with colleagues. That means a genealogical society. Imagine your little hometown genealogical society may have a space like this where y'all are working on a project together. You may be working on a cemetery together, and you may put all your photographs in the left side of that screen, and you may work on that together. Or you may be indexing the genealogical newsletters from your society for the past 50 years. They're yours. If it's your local genealogy society, you own your newsletters. If you choose to, you could put them here. And that doesn't mean that the whole world has access to them, but you do. And you could work on creating an index or a knowledge base. You could create your own assistant here who would have the knowledge of whatever was in your newsletter archive from the past 50 years. And it's as if you were talking to a librarian who had read and memorized 50 years of your newsletter archives. Who thinks that might be useful? Yes, it is. Now, one of the really neat things about this is the one, did anybody hear about, it was really easy all of a sudden to make a podcast? Couple folks, this is the one, if you give this tool like a 20-page PDF file, in about 2 minutes, it turns that into a podcast. And it sounds like a man and a woman have had a little bit too much caffeine, and they're talking to each other excitedly about the document you just gave them. And that is amazing for so many different ways. One, they simplify the way they're talking about it. So let's say you uploaded a 20-page file about your hometown, that you have permission, someone gave you a 50-page PDF on the history of your hometown. Well, suddenly, you're not reading a 50-page document, you're listening to an engaging 8-minute podcast between a man and a woman excitedly talking about your hometown. That's where folks were doing that in this. So the other thing that's good for writers, how many of you do your own writing? You all do your own writing. How many of you try to edit or understand your own work? A lot of us skip that step because it's hard. What this will do, if you give this tool the draft of your own work, you'll hear a man and a woman talking about the paper you just wrote. And if they get something wrong, that means you probably didn't write it as clearly as you thought you did. And so listening to your own work as if two other people are reading it and giving you feedback on this is just huge, amazing. I love this tool. It quickly became, for many people, this is when they decided to get serious about using artificial intelligence, when they saw this tool and how it could be used. Yes, that's another picture where you can create your own prompts. Now, this is really neat. Usually when we create documents, you have Excel or Google Sheets if you want to create a spreadsheet. You have DBase 4 or Access or MySQL if you want to create a database. RootsMagic is what we use for a database. If you want to write a document, use Microsoft Word. If you want to create a PowerPoint presentation, you use PowerPoint. Well, now, in these operating environments at ChatGPT, at OpenAI, at Google Gemini, at Anthropic's Claude, you can create stuff. Not just have conversations, but you can actually do things and create things. This is the example I was talking about. Dana Leeds, who invented the Leeds method, uses this tool to teach people how to do the Leeds method. And notice the right side of the screen. She's using, this is Anthropic's Claude, I believe. Yes. It created that table on the right. And she can modify and update that table in real time as she's talking to the chat bot and creating that document on the right. And there is a near endless type of documents that you can create in these tools. They have different names. At OpenAI, it's called Canvas. Well, what's a canvas? Well, It's what you can make a tent out of, but that's not what I'm talking about. What else do you do with canvas? You paint on them. The canvas is what the artist paints on. So they named it Canvas because this is where you create things. Anthropics Artifacts is also going for something like that. An artifact, these are artifacts that you create. The other vendors will also be coming out with these creation spaces. But these spaces where you create things, either OpenAI's Canvas or Anthropics Artifacts are going to be tremendously useful. And at OpenAI, again, these are collaborative. That means you can share them. You can create tools. You're going to be able to create your own tools to solve genealogical tasks. And you can share these tools with others. For example, I created one. If you wanted to explain to somebody, third cousin once removed. Or if you wanted to explain to them, how many of y'all know the difference between third cousin once removed ascending and third cousin once removed descending? You know, try to explain that to your nephew at the family reunion without him running away screaming. But if you show them a picture where, oh, my second cousin, that just means we have shared great-grandparents. And once removed means, you know, it's the child of your second cousin. I wrote a tool that just draws a picture of that. You just tell it second cousin once removed, ascending, and it draws you a picture. You know, a very small thing, but it's very, very useful. And that turned out to be of use to folks, and other folks wanted to be able to use that. You will create all kinds of little tools that may only be useful to you, but they will save you time. And you may discover that it's useful to lots of other folks. And so we're having a lot of fun discovering these tools and sharing these tools with others. Here's the biggie, and this may be the one we end on. This is the one I briefly talked about yesterday. For most of the first 2 years of using these tools, the rule was these tools are good for words, not facts. And why did we say that these tools were good for words, not facts? Yell out, one word starts with the letter H. For 2 years, we said words, not facts, because these tools make so many mistakes. And they made so many mistakes that it wasn't worth your time to try to do research for most of the past 2 years. It would just make up answers. That day is coming to a close. It is now time to say, with great care and caution, you can start to use these tools for research if you're very, very careful. But the way that they can do research is quite amazing. This is the tool that, now some of these are available for free, some are available for a modest price, some are expensive, and they just announced one that I don't understand. There's one of these that is going to cost about $20,000 a month. And this was just announced like 3 or 4 days ago. It's not available yet, so I'm going to be shocked to see what on earth could this thing do that somebody's going to want to pay $20,000 for. But it's not hard to imagine. I mean, that's what you pay somebody, a lot of money. That's what a PhD might earn in a month. So they're talking about tools that is the equivalent of hiring a PhD for a month. That's not going to be a viable option for any genealogist that I know. Maybe some of the big vendors will be looking into this, but for most folks, the $20 a month, or there is a $200 a month version. If you're a small business owner, if you have a small genealogical firm, 2 or 3 of you are working together, a $200 expense, I have one of these accounts for the time being. And I have tested this, and it's going to be worth $200 a month to some professional genealogist. This is the example that I shared with you I was able to create a location guide, 35 pages, in about 7 minutes. And it came back with 44 sources, and they were all accurate. Let me qualify that. It had not hallucinated any sources, and when I checked on the sources were real, and the information that it was talking about was accurate, but it got a few of the details wrong. So these tools, even the expensive ones, are still imperfect, even if they're impressive, which means that even at $200 a month, you cannot fall asleep at the wheel. You still have to verify. You have to be the human in the loop. But once you learn how to ride this bicycle, oh my goodness, being able to generate 30-page reports in 10 minutes, and they limit how much you can do it. Free users can do one a month. You can do one a month. For the $20 a month, I think you can do 10 a month. About every week, you can do one or two of these for $20 a month. At the $200 level, you can do it 200 times a month, about 3 times a day. So about 3 times a day, you can generate a 30 to 50-page report. And so you want to be very careful on how you do it. The prompt that I have there, that's actually not the final prompt. That's actually it took me about 4 steps to get to that. And I will probably be teaching a class in this in the spring or the summer. But the blog post is up there now. That URL at the top of the screen, I teach you how to do this right there. So just go to the URL at the top of the screen, and you can see how I created this 35-page report. You can also, there's ways to do this for free with other vendors. OpenAI was not the only company that made this available. There was about 4 companies that made this available all almost the same week, and they gave their products almost identical names. They're called Deep Research, and Deep Search. Yeah, that's from OpenAI, Google, Grok, and Perplexity makes a version available using the open source DeepSeek model. So that's going to be a big deal, being able to do that. But you can, the freer versions may not be 35 pages long. It may only be 10 pages long. But it's for free, you're going to find that of great use. Again, this is still early days in using research, so I can't emphasize enough how closely you need to fact check every claim. And in the ethics panel last night, we talked about one of the folks here with us asked, how do you cite ChatGPT as the source of information? And the answer was, you do not. Unless, if you run across a fact claim that says somebody was born, lived, or died during this, on this date or place, you would never say, and the authority, I got this information from ChatGPT. You go through and you find the real document that it's leading you to. And it now gives you the link to the source that it believes it found that information from. And so that's why you have to check it. All right, we've got about 6 minutes left for question and answers. As you are coming forward, I would like to ask that you keep your questions very focused. Don't jump up unless you can do this. I want you to have in mind asking for a tool recommendation. You want to not just tell me the whole story, but just quickly say, this is what I want to do, and this is what I've got, and what tool would you use?
Oh, I was going to ask a question a little different than that.
Well, go ahead.
What do you think of the criticism that AI-generated material is iterative? When I use Grok, it says it quotes 27
what was the word you said?
It's not original. It's iterative, repetitive, not original. It quotes 27 web pages. I don't know about your experience with family history, but when I go on Family Search, I get garbage. When I go on Ancestry, I find lots of garbage trees. And would repetitive research be valuable? as opposed to original research?
My experience of using these tools is that they are aggregating information. When you use Perplexity or these other, what has happened is since I was here last year, these tools now have internet access. Perplexity was one of the first, and so if you ask a research type question, it actually does an internet search and pulls together search results. And it is aggregating information from those searches and giving you that information mixed together from those different sources,
right,
and giving you links to those sources.
And you think information on the internet must be true because it's on the internet?
No, I mean, if it's garbage in, garbage out,
right,
that's why you have to be the human in the loop. You cannot fall asleep at the wheel. You have to go through, and if you're passing along a fact claim, you need to find a real credible source to attribute that fact to, and it's not going to be ChatGPT.
Yeah.
You need to dig back to the original source.
At the transcription one this morning, they talked about a 3 to 5% error rate in transcription with the things reading it. I think you're at a point where you could generate a lot of garbage without generating meaningful data.
Oh, absolutely. There's a word for it. It's called slop, AI slop. And we are about to experience a tsunami of AI slop. It is going to change the nature of the internet. My hope is that you will be surfing along the top of the tsunami of slop. But no, you're absolutely right. These tools are going to generate a vast amount of garbage. So it's actually going to become a different kind of challenge to find. That's why any source before 2022, these resources that were created before 2022 are much more valuable now. Because guess what? If it was created before 2022, it was not generated by artificial intelligence. The year 2022 is going to mark a boundary in information. Anything created after 2022 is going to be suspect. Was this human created or was this AI created? And if it was AI created, how much truth and value is there? Does it link us to those original documents and sources? And that's where the value is going to be, using the tools that link you to those original sources.
Much more basic question. I'm in that first 20 hours category that you spoke about.
Say that again?
I'm in the first 20 hours
Yes.
of experience category that you talked about. What's a little unnerving to me is the number of different companies. Is it a good strategy to start with one company and then learn that and then go to a different company, or can you
Here's what I would do.
mix and match?
Great question. Here's what I would do in the first 20 hours without spending a nickel. The major vendors, and by the major vendors, I mean OpenAI's ChatGPT, Anthropic's Claude, Google Gemini, X's Grok, and Facebook's Meta. Those are the 5 big major players. They all have free accounts. You can get free accounts and free uses. Use them all because it's not unlimited free. After an hour or two, it'll say, you're a bit too busy. Why don't you either pay us or come back tomorrow? So use all 5 of them for free. And you probably won't, expend all the free stuff within one day. And the skills you use, these are transferable skills. So learning to use one is teaching you how to use the others. Great question.
Thank you.
I'm looking over here at the session details, and I do not see attachment of what you just presented.
I will follow up because it should be there. The one from yesterday was there. There should be a link that says attachment, and the PDF should be there.
Yeah, I look up your name, and it shows the different ones you've done, and the other ones all have it, but
Okay.
today's does not, and I'd really like it.
Okay, I'll find out and see if we can get that. I've got about 30 seconds. Thank you all very much. I will be in the hallway as we finish, and so thank you, thank you, thank you.